friends, and welcome back to the Tozy channel for more AU, and we're going to be listening to the rest of the Flower Bookmark 3 album today. We've heard 2 songs already. They were wonderful. Now we're going to listen to the other 4. A huge shout out to the YouTube channel Shadow by Yoongi for the translation videos and these lyric videos that we're going to be watching, and also for having great taste, because I too love Shadow by Mr. Min Yoongi. 4 songs, one right after another. Lots of fun. I've been listening to the album. I hope you have too, and look forward to listening to the other Flower Bookmark albums. This is a lovely range of being sweet, romantic, fun, and also heartbreaking. So let's get into these ones. And hopefully, by the way, I finally fixed the glitches in my microphones, but I won't find out until later after I've listened to what I've already recorded and it's too late. Let's all cross our fingers. Let's get into it. Ka-cha. Cute lyric. It's just got such good energy. You could make this the theme song of a really cute K-drama. It's just such fun. Very theatrical. Could just as easily be the closing credits to an anime. It's just got that vibe. So good. I love that she somehow managed to carry on red shoes, these shoes, and now red sneakers, and made a trilogy of songs that have sort of equal pace and pep to them, even though she wasn't the one that wrote this song. Like, how did you find something that fit in without having to create it yourself? That's just clever. I mean, how did that happen? Was she already aware of it? Uenas, who, telling you, Uenas are just the smartest fans around. and so well informed and have such great breadth of knowledge in music, sort of encyclopedic knowledge of music. That seems to be a hallmark of a UNer. Was it just a bunch of UNers being like, did you know there's already a song called Red Sneakers? And she's like, locking that bit of information away. Thank you very much. I'll be getting on top of that. And in the same vibe as her Shoe series, I'm going to call it the Shoe series, kicking off the album and being this bright, energetic song that has movement to it, has pace to it. It feels like we're going forward the same way things like The Shoes is about going off and going on an adventure and running on forward. It's delightful and so sweet and really theatrical, which also kind of reminds me of the Modern Times album, which has so much theatricality to it. It feels like it's been extracted from a stage show, or as I said, it's the opening song to a K-drama, it's the closing song of an anime. It's telling a story. It's got theatricality to it. You can see like a big dance number to the piano solo in the center. Deeply enjoyable song. Deeply enjoyable, really does. It's first thing in the morning as I'm filming this, and it's like, this is a great way to start the day, you know, just really get me into the mood of listening to a bunch of fun things. I'm going to end the day with watching When Life Gives You Tangerines, which keeps making me cry, so we'll see if I can keep the energy up until then. We'll find out together. Let's go to the next song. This is my favorite song on the album. So satisfying. These harmonies just straight through the mind. It's beautiful. She completes those phrases so beautifully. This is going to be so good in concert. One of the things that's most satisfying about IU, and it's so clear in songs like that, is that she really finishes off her phrases. She doesn't lose any clarity or power to those final notes in a sentence, which so often can happen because you take your breath before you start the phrase. The beginning of the phrase can be nice and big and bold, and then it just sort of loses its breath, loses its power, loses its clarity right at the end. That finishing note, she's so clear, so round, still all the way to the end. So I personally love songs that are supported by the instrumentalization that feels like it's always running forward. I know I just talked about Running in Red Sneakers, but I mean that looping sound that gives it pace and dynamics and, yeah, there's the lyric I was looking for. You've been drenched for years. Such an interesting lyric, but it also suddenly turns that running part in the back of it, that cyclical part, into rainfall. It makes it sound like that's pouring rain. You've been drenched for years. Such beautiful lyricism. Sounds like her kind of song no matter what. And there's also a quality to it that's just occurred to me now, and again why I think I find this song so attractive and why it's certainly my favorite. I love, one, it's that rolling instrumentalization, but the harmony and the layering. So I love Renaissance music. I know. Make fun of me all you want, that's fine. My favorite song in the world is Miserere by Allegri, which is a 4-part Renaissance motet. These things did not have orchestration. They didn't have any kind of accompaniment at all. They're all vocal. Things like Renaissance madrigals use harmony and layering the same way IU does, the same way that song just did, where it typically doesn't have big solo lines. They're usually supported, but in these Renaissance motets and madrigals, there will be a main line and then suddenly everything swells in and fills out the sound, or things start layering on top of each other, and they become really quite complicated. Sophisticated is an even better word for it. That it's almost mathematical precision that allows these things to come in on top of each other, and rather than it become messy, it's just filling out the picture. And that song does that. And if you listen to any kind of Renaissance vocal music like that, I mean, please feel free to go listen to my favorite song, Miserere by Allegri. It might change your life like it changed mine, and I adore it. And if you could please all remember that I would like that played at my funeral, I would appreciate that. But again, it's this, and Speminalium does that. Speminalium particularly, with all of those voices, they come cascading in on each other and creates this big auditory picture, and that is what that song does. And it scratches, I think it scratches a bit of our brains that it's not just fattening out the sound or supporting the main line, it's finishing out the picture for us, really painting the whole thing. We had sort of maybe the central image with the central voice, and then the whole thing expands. Personally, I find that deeply, deeply satisfying, and probably why I love that song so much, and why as well, when IU does this, it's not the only song she's done it in. Something in our brain chemistry goes, oh yeah, that's satisfying. Thank you, I like that. So there's lots of elements in that song that I really adore, and is a really kind of lovely depiction of quite an enjoyable memory of somebody, where she kind of could be like Sly Fox. You're a Sly Fox could kind of be an insult, except the time they had together was so enjoyable that you kind of giggle when you think about it, and it gives that feeling to it where it's like, yeah, there's a memory and I can sit here and reminisce, but when I do reminisce, I go, oh, that was fun. Like a bit like that. Love that. I love that one. All right, on to the next. What era does this immediately put me in? Early 80s? Late 70s? It's reminding me of something else and I just can't think what it is. What did I just say about laughing over memories? Such a nice use of that echo effect. Cool vocal tone. Very much an album about loving and losing, isn't it? She says before knowing the lyrics of the next song. We'll find out. What song is that reminding me of? Is it something from the 80s? Late 70s? Oh, that particular musicality, it really reminds me of that. In both the way that they're not speak singing, but the use of more staccato, so things being slightly shorter, does pronounce the sort of sense of conversation that's going on. And it's reminding me of a different era, and I can't put my finger on it, but it's so strongly reminding me of something else. How annoying. How annoying that I can't remember it. What an enjoyable back and forward. We're kind of getting a few different senses of what happens when you love and lose, even if it's a platonic love or a romantic love. That there can be lament, there can be anger, there can be humour, there can be fondness. Sort of, it colours a bit of all of it. Let's find out what the last one says before I commit to the idea that that's sort of the overarching theme of the album? Let's find out together. That's the entertainer. Da, 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 da.
일어나 눈을 떠보면 네모난 창문으로 보이는 똑같은 풍경 네모난 문을 열고 네모난 테이블에 앉아 네모난 스마트폰 본 뒤 네모난 책가방에 네모난 책들을 넣고 네모난 버스를 타고 네모난 건물 지나 네모난 학교에 들어서면 또 네모난 교실 네모난 칠판과 책상들
How hilarious and cute.
네모난 오디오 네모난 컴퓨터 TV 네모난 달력에 그려진 똑같은 하루를
Now I'm going to see squares everywhere I go.
또 못한 채로 그냥 숨만 쉬고 있는 걸 주위를 둘러보면 모두 네모난 것들 뿐인데 우린 언제나 듣지 잘난 어른의 멋진 이 말 세상은 둥글게 살아야 해 지구본을 보면 우리 사는 지금 둥근데 구석품들은 왜 다 온통 네모난 건지 몰라 어쩌면 그건 네모의 꿈일지 몰라 네모난 아버지의 지갑에 네모난 지폐 네모난 팜플렛에 그려진 네모난 학원 네모난 마루에 걸려있는 네모난 액자와 네모난 명함의 이름들
This is so bizarre.
거위에 놓인 네모난 테이프 네모난 책장에 꽂혀있는 네모난 사전 네모난 서랍 속에 쌓여있는 네모난 편지 이제 네모 같은 추억들 네모난 태극기 하늘 높이 펄럭이고 네모난 잡지에 그려진 이달의 운수는 희망 없는 나에게 그나마의 기쁨인가 봐 주위
A little hopeless.
모두 네모난 것들 뿐인데 우린 언제나 듣지 잘난 어른의 멋진 이 말 세상은 둥글게 살아야 해 지구본을 보면 우리 사는 지금 둥근데 구석품들은 왜 다 온통 네모난 건지 몰라 어쩌면 그건 네모의 꿈일지 몰라
Bizarre. That left turn reminds me of, hold on, let me find out what it is. That reminds me of drama from Pieces. This sort of like kids song type thing that has this jolly little tune. I mean, that's written from the perspective of a child, someone who's still in school and is looking at grown-ups. And, you know, maybe is only considering the world very square now because it's only once love is involved that all of the edges of the world soften. But, I mean, one, yes, that does put a pin in my previous theory. I knew that was going to happen. I could tell by the tone of Square's Dream because I've been listening to the album, but I hadn't looked at the lyrics yet. I could tell by the tone of it that it wasn't tonally the same as everything else. It feels very out of left field, and is. But then also, all of the rest of the songs are coming from the perspective of somebody who has experienced the world, while that song is coming from the perspective of somebody who hasn't yet. They're too young to have experienced the world. And has identified the world as being round and that our hearts should be round and love is the sense of round. But that song and its really childish tone, this cute little thing that's going on there, is the view of somebody too young to know anything, while every other song is very much the song of somebody who knows too much, enough, more than a child, somebody who's actually experienced life and has gone through it, the good and the bad. I mean, 6 songs is so short, but that's okay. We'll accept that there's only 6 songs, because there's something about it. I mean, you know, that's the beauty of it being called Flower Bookmark, that it does feel like you're taking a moment to read a book of poetry in this. And again, like Square's Dream, as tonally different as it is, being like that, lyrically it is written like a poem. That's the kind of way you would write a poem. There is a running theme in it, there's running rhyme in it, there's observation in it, the way a poem does have. That could be the poem a child writes, that could be a poem that somebody writes when they're remembering their childhood. And just because the others are a little more florid in their language doesn't mean that Square's Dream is any less poetic. And Flower Bookmark songs always feel like it's a bookmark in a book of poetry. And they're so enjoyable. I mean, we have, as I said when we were listening to the other 2, which have music videos, that we know from palette that IU can make any song her own. We know that. That's fine. But it is interesting, the songs that she chooses to be her own when she's doing Flower Bookmark, and what speak to her. I was making the comment just the other day. I was in the car listening to the radio, because my husband puts on the radio. I never put on the radio. I listen to my own music. I find the radio less and less tolerable, to be fair. And Ed Sheeran's new song came on. The opening lyric is something like, "I found my old phone today." And I immediately got quite annoyed with it and was listening to the song. And like, I like Ed Sheeran, but I was listening, it's not his best. I'm going to be that brutal and just say it as plainly as that. And one of the things that I didn't enjoy about it is its total lack of poetry. Everything about it was so literal, and that's not always the case with Ed Sheeran songs. A lot of the time he is quite poetic, but then every now and then he throws out a song that is so very literal to what is happening. I found my old phone and it was full of old things. Oh look, the life I used to lead is right here in my old phone. And there was no kind of discovery or whimsical nature to it, or beauty in it. I don't find it a beautiful song. I think it entirely lacks poetry, and I think if there is one thing that ties literally every single IU song together, whether she wrote it or not, whether she wrote the lyrics or not, whether it was an original or a cover, she is poetic in what she writes for herself and what she chooses for herself. That nothing is ever so blatantly literal that it feels like childish or unintelligent or unsophisticated writing. It's not as elegant as I find IU's writing, all the people that she collaborates with, all the songs that she chooses for her cover albums. They are elegant. Even when they're like drama, even when they're like Square's Dream, where there's something very cutesy about them. And you know, when we watched the palette that had the cast of Broker, and the little boy was there, and the little boy sang drama because it suits a kid. Like, of course he sung it, just as a kid could very easily sing Square's Dream. Even when they have that sweet little accessibility to them, that kind of, you could play your kid in their nursery and they could have a little fun time listening to it, there is still something more elevated to the lyrics and the story that's being told, which I love oh so much. It means that as listeners, we can take from it whatever we want. We can find our own relatable moment in among the lyrics. We have that wonderful freedom of subjectivity where you and I might not approach a song the same way. We might not quite get the same thing from it because we've lived different lives. But that is the beauty of art. The same way that you and I could stand in front of a painting and see different things, feel different things because we've lived different lives. That's art is subjective. That is how we should enjoy it. That we find how true it is to ourselves, where it sits within ourselves. That is what poetic writing allows us to do. And I think, again, that's one of the reasons why UNers as a fandom are as clever as they are, as thoughtful as they are, because we have thought-provoking music provided to us and lyricism provided to us, and allows us to sit in it and think about it and think about how it makes us feel and where it hits us within our lives and our own experiences. Including if you're particularly young and you haven't quite got there yet with a lot of things, there are even songs that are there for you and about the life that you are going to experience rather than the life that you already have experienced if you're quite young. Which is a nice way to be led, and it means that through your life, listening to IU as you grow and change and learn things, you might kind of rediscover some of her songs as they hit you differently through life and through your experiences growing. Very enjoyable, deeply enjoyable. October 4th, still my favourite, but I really, really do love them all, like really do. So please let me know what your favourite is, because I'd love to hear that. And since we're going to go back now and listen to the other Flower Bookmark albums, please let me know if there are any particular performances or videos of those that you want to watch together. There are a couple of songs that we have looked at before, like By the Stream and stuff like that. But then again, By the Stream, one of my favourite IU songs, so I'm happy to go back and look at it. But do let me know if there are any other videos that you would like to watch. Over on Patreon, speaking of watching things, we are watching IU TV. We've got some of the behind the scenes of the music videos. We are watching You're the Best, Little IU, and also When Life Gives You Tangerines, which is soul-destroying and gorgeous and everything you could want from art and television, and I'm loving every single second of it. So if you'd like to join us for that, the link is in the description. Come on by anytime. But thank you for joining me for an album listen. Divine. I feel good now, and I kind of want to stop here for the day because I enjoyed it so much. No more filming for the rest of the day. This was too good. Thank you for joining me. 감사합니다. 사랑해요, and I will see you soon for more. 안녕.